Liel Abada was left out of Celtic squad for the February 11th Scottish Cup win over St Mirren. The Israeli winger, once an important figure in the side's back-to-back title-winning starting 11, was described as not being in the right frame of mind by manager Brendan Rodgers. Abada signed a 4-year contract extension with Celtic in September 2023. Just 21 years old at this point, he had already managed 28 goals in 101 appearances for the club, and there was a belief that Rodgers could possibly bring the attacker's game to another level. Everything was looking good. Then, just days after signing the new deal, Abada suffered an injury while on international duty for Israel. It looked bad and was set to keep him out of action for several months. But these things happen in football, and all focus was on the player making a full recovery and returning in the second half of the season to make a big contribution to Celtic's quest for a third championship in a row. During his absence, the events of October 7th unfolded. The 75-year-long Israeli occupation of Palestine now saw Israel engaging in a genocide of the Palestinian people. Celtic supporters had long sympathised with the Palestinian cause. Most notably, in 2014, the UEFA fined the club £16,000 after fans waved Palestinian flags during a Champions League qualifying game. Celtic's ultra group, the Green Brigade, responded by raising over £135,000 for Palestinian charity groups Medical Aid Palestine and the Lajee Centre, a cultural and sports project for children in the Aida refugee camp in Bethlehem. In response to the latest escalation of the conflict, the Green Brigade once again organised a Palestinian flag display before Celtic's October 25th Champions League game against Atletico Madrid, where Celtic fans sang "You'll Never Walk Alone" while holding Palestinian flags in a video that went viral on TikTok and Instagram. Once again, the club were fined by UEFA for this and criticised by supporters of Israel. One of those critics was Israeli national team manager Alon Hazan, who stated, "Liel Abada doesn't need me to step into his shoes. He did his military national service to the state and did a fine job." He demanded Celtic's management issue a condemnation against their fans, who are known to be anti-Semitic. In response, a Celtic spokesperson was quoted in the press as saying, "Any suggestion that the Celtic support is anti-Semitic is totally inaccurate. Celtic is a diverse club, proud to be open to all, ever since its formation in 1888. Everyone at Celtic Football Club continues to give Liel our full support." While the Israeli manager fell just short of encouraging Abada to leave Celtic, his international teammate Dole Haziza did go as far as to suggest just that, stating, "Liel Abada, you should have moved on from Celtic a long time ago. Go to another club immediately. God will bless you even more if you leave." Evidently, an incredible amount of pressure was being placed on Abada from his homeland. He's playing for a club with a very vocal and unyielding support for the plight of Gaza, and all the while he's out of action for months with serious injury. A Celtic statement suggests club officials met with Abada during this time and provided him with reassurances regarding his importance to the club, and though it cannot be confirmed how related it is to the situation, even banned the Green Brigade from Celtic Park for 2 months, from late October until December 30th's 2-1 win over Rangers. In a statement, the club stated the ban was not in relation to the flying of Palestinian flags, but did criticise the flying of a Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine flag, a secular Palestinian Marxist-Leninist and revolutionary socialist organisation linked with aircraft hijackings in the 60s and 70s. However, the Green Brigade responded by stating that the Celtic board's claim the ban was not in relation to the flying of Palestinian flags was disingenuous, and further stated, "In 2016, Celtic fans faced pressure and intimidation before flying the flag for Palestine. In the aftermath, Peter Lawwell, who was then CEO and is now chairman, advised us that we were finished, and it was only the widespread positive reaction and subsequent fundraising which deterred the Celtic board from banning us." So you have Celtic fans and the Celtic board at odds, criticising and banning each other. Meanwhile, Liel Abada is in the middle of the storm as a high-profile Israeli player, facing calls from home to leave the club, all while unable to contribute on the pitch. Then, in December, Abada returned from injury and received a massive ovation from the Celtic fans as he came on as a substitute in that 2-1 derby win. Despite being labelled anti-Semitic for speaking out against Israel's genocide in Palestine, the fans showed there was no personal animosity towards Abada, instead giving him the reception expected for a returning hero. Since then, Abada may have returned from injury, but he certainly hasn't returned to form. His 6 appearances have ranged from underwhelming to dreadful, frequently losing possession of the ball and providing no attacking threat when receiving passes in the final third. He hasn't scored, and the only assist was against non-league side Bucky Thistle in the Scottish Cup, who are an amateur club without a single player on a professional contract. In the February 7th league game against Hibs, Abada was brought on with 15 minutes remaining to try and help the side find an all-important winning goal with the score at 1 each. Instead, he had 12 touches of the ball and gave it away 7 times. His effort and commitment were called into question by parts of the Celtic support. Notably, since returning, Abada would walk down the tunnel at the full-time whistle instead of celebrating or applauding with supporters in the stands. And so that's the situation Abada finds himself in now. He's still a young player, and he was far from the finished article even before injury, but his contribution since returning is miles below what he's shown himself to be capable of. It's completely obvious from this video where my own opinions are aligned regarding the situation between Palestine and Israel, but putting that aside, it's also entirely understandable why Liel Abada may not currently be in the right frame of mind to play for Celtic. At the young age of 22, he's facing intense pressure from his homeland and playing in front of a fanbase who largely openly support the Palestinian cause. None of this is his doing, and he had shown great potential and commitment prior to this horrendous situation, but a professional footballer on a long-term contract, being paid tens of thousands of pounds a month, not being in the right mental state of mind to play for his club because of an ongoing war is a situation unlikely to have anything resembling a happy ending. What level of contribution can Celtic expect from Abada until the end of the season? And perhaps more importantly, what level of contribution does he really want to provide? Perhaps personal pride means he always wants to do his best on the pitch and perform to the highest standard just from a sporting perspective alone, and he does have to consider drawing interest for his next move. But after receiving the backing of the club during his absence, and the backing of the fans themselves after return from injury, what more can really be done? The situation may just mean that Liel Abada has to leave Celtic in the summer, but what will he provide for the club between now and then? Let me know your thoughts on the situation for Liel Abada at Celtic in the comments.